Philippe Pétain, Iba Wulil, 1951, was a French military officer and political figure whose career spanned decades, marked by both celebrated military achievements and controversial political actions, particularly during World War II. Education, 1856 to 1876, born April 24, 1856, in Cochier-la-Tour-Pada, Calais, France. Into a farming family with a military tradition, attended local schools and a Jesuit college in Saint-Omer. In 1876, he entered the Saint-Cyr Military Academy, France's premier military school, graduating in 1878 as a sub-lieutenant. Early military career, 1878 to 1914, Pétain joined the French army and served in various infantry and chasseurs units. His early career was unremarkable, marked by steady but slow advancement due to his reserved personality and lack of political connections. Military philosophy. Pétain developed a defensive-minded approach, emphasizing firepower and fortifications over offensive tactics, which contrasted with the French army's prevailing doctrine of aggressive attacks by the early 1900s. He taught at the École Supérieure de Guerre War College, where he influenced future officers with his defensive strategies. His ideas were initially dismissed by superiors favoring offensive doctrines pre-war rank by 1914. At age Worshaba, Pétain was a colonel commanding an infantry regiment, nearing retirement age with little expectation of high command. Began on July 28, 1914, following the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand, and ended on November 11, 1918, with the armistice. It was a global conflict, primarily between the Allies, including France, Britain, Russia, and later the United States and the Central Powers Germany, Austria-Hungary, and the Ottoman Empire. The Western Front, where Pétain played a major role, was characterized by trench warfare, massive casualties, and strategic stalemates. Pétain's role in WorldWarI, the outbreak of the war. Philippe Pétain was a 58-year-old colonel, relatively obscure and nearing retirement. The war transformed him into one of France's most celebrated military leaders, particularly through his leadership at Verdun, and his later role as Commander in Chief. Below is a comprehensive overview of Philippe Pétain's role and activities during World War I, 1914 to 1918, focusing on his contributions, commands, and impact, as requested in the context of his complete life and career. This response dives deeply into his World War I period, drawing on historical knowledge up to July 11, 2025. While keeping the details clear and structured, context of WorldWarI, World War I began on July 28, 1914. Following the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand and ended on November 11, 1918, with the armistice. It was a global conflict, primarily between the Allies, including France, Britain, Russia, and later the United States and the Central Powers Germany, Austria-Hungary, and the Ottoman Empire. The Western Front, where Pétain played a major role, was characterized by trench warfare, massive casualties, and strategic stalemates. Pétain's role in WorldWarI, the outbreak of the war. Philippe Pétain was a 58-year-old colonel, relatively obscure and nearing retirement. The war transformed him into one of France's most celebrated military leaders, particularly through his leadership at Verdun and his later role as Commander-in-Chief. Early war contributions, 1914, 1915. In August 1914, Pétain commanded the 4th Infantry Regiment in Belgium. His unit saw action during the early Mobile phase of the war, including the Battle of the Marne, September 1914, where the Allies halted the German advance toward Paris. Promotion to Brigadier General. Pétain's steady leadership led to his promotion to Brigadier General in August 1914. He took command of the 6th Infantry Division, participating in defensive operations in the Artois and Champagne regions. Defensive expertise, Pétain's preference for defensive tactics, emphasizing artillery, coordination, and troop welfare, began to distinguish him. His approach contrasted with the French Army's initial focus on offensive doctrines, like Plan 17, which led to heavy losses in 1914. Battle of Verdun, 1916. The turning point, the Battle of Verdun, February-December 1916, was Pétain's defining moment, earning him the title Hero of Verdun. Context: Germany launched a massive offensive at Verdun, a heavily fortified French position aiming to bleed the French army dry through attrition. The battle became a symbol of French resilience appointment on February 25, 1916. Pétain was appointed commander of the Second Army and tasked with defending Verdun. Replacing General Joseph Joffre's failing strategy, Pétain organized the Voie Sacred Way, a vital supply route from Bar-le-Duc to Verdun. He ensured a constant flow of troops, ammunition, and supplies, rotating divisions to prevent exhaustion. Over 6,000 vehicles used the route daily. Maintaining French defenses, Pétain prioritized artillery dominance and fortified positions, countering German assaults with concentrated firepower. He avoided wasteful counterattacks. Focusing on holding key forts like Dalmont and Vauxtroup welfare, Pétain improved conditions for soldiers, providing rest, food, and medical care, which boosted morale under grueling conditions. Commander-in-Chief Ijo-Ba Pétain's leadership during the French army mutinies and the final Allied offensives cemented his legacy. French army mutinies 1917, after the failed naval offensive, April-May 1917, which caused massive French casualties. Widespread mutinies broke out among French troops, with soldiers refusing to attack but willing to defend the appointment. On May 15, 1917, Pétain replaced General Robert Nivelle as commander-in-chief of the French army. This response draws on historical accounts of Pétain's WorldWarI role, including his actions at Verdun and as commander-in-chief. Based on my knowledge up to July 11, 2025, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more military, navy, and geopolitical updates.